in full effect with my homeboy and my brothers from other mothers. Marcus Farrell, how you doing, man?
Black Lives Matter.
Hang on, let's do this. I want everybody to see your sweater, so I'm gonna take me off the screen. I'm gonna take Mundell off the screen so they can see your full sweater. Show me the sweater, man.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. All
right, I'm coming back.
Microphone. Yo, real quick, I'm doing good this morning. Shout out to Rosetta Bobo, Morris Farrell Sr., Albert and Francis, and all of my living and past grandparents and ancestors. I'm so blessed that I still have my grandparents around, and I haven't said this before, but I love you. Oh. I love you, Grandma, Granddaddy. I love you. I love you. I love you.
That's love, man. That's love. Literally, that's what's going on. What's going on, Mundell?
Man, I'm super duper excited, bro. I am. It's Friday 1. Which means we're closer to ridding ourselves of the infection that is orange thing that lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Ave. I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about, I'm from a small county in North Carolina that y'all might not have never heard of. It's called Halifax County.
Yeah, I know Halifax.
I'm excited about that. Oh, I'm sorry. It's in Black North Carolina, which means the eastern part of the state where majority of the Black people are. And it's a majority Black county. And I just launched a super PAC called Black Halifax. But I don't know anything about Halifax County. Halifax County is sometimes called the birth of this nation, not in the racist term, but in the term that democracy, the fight, the verbal fight against Britain began in Halifax County. That conversation began. So, Black Halifax, baby. This is where we're gonna begin the conversation about getting Black people free too.
Let me tell you something though, man. You said that's where the rhetorical fight against the British started.
Yeah.
The true story is that the British actually have won because my son is walking around here speaking with a British accent because of that damn Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig has extended the British imperialism right into our shore, into our homes. And I put that shit on Twitter yesterday. And I say like at least 20, 30, 40 people said their kids living in different parts of the South and across this country speaking with British accents. So I think the joke was on us in the long run.
Listen, it's between Peppa Pig and James Bond.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's what's up. We have been visited this morning by the Dragon Squad. I always like to give them a shout out. Dragon Squad is from the Damage Report, John Iadarola. I can never pronounce my friend's name, but they always visit us in the chat. A lot of folks visiting us. We got 300 people already. Everyone's saying good morning. From Florida, Kayla from Florida. We got all the good stuff. So listen, I got a lot of clips from last night, but I think we can kind of summarize it. I honestly think that was the best showing I've seen of Joe Biden ever in a debate. I think maybe second only to the way he did Paul Ryan back in 2012.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I remember that debate.
Bro, yeah. He spanked that boy like a grown ass man being approached by some jit. You know what it was? It was the Keith Sweat / what's that little rapper that little singer who thought he was a bad man?
Jaquez. I talked about
Jaquez. That's how ridiculous Paul Ryan looked up against Joe Biden in 2012. Setting that one aside, I think he had a great showing last night. What are your first reactions?
I think it was amazing. I think he. The irony of it is because I'm gonna take my pessimistic role. I think he did 100% better than Joe Biden. Than Donald Trump, all the way until the end. And then when they started talking about the 94 crime bill, he has an answer for it, but it's just like he allowed Trump to bully him on it. But every other issue that we as Americans care about, he proved how much Donald Trump is a liar. And right. I'm very skeptical about Biden and everything, but last night was my first glimmer of hope with Biden.
Okay.
That's about the best way for me to say it. And if you know me, you know Marcus Farrell, and you follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff, I'll tell you how much I don't like their whole ilk. But last night was the first time where it was like, okay, well, maybe we will pack the quarters. Even though he didn't say it, right? But maybe we will fight for things that we have not normally done. Like, and I'll give Mandela a shout out, props. He's been the only like super. You two have, both of you have been super optimistic about Biden. Not you as much, Ben, but definitely Mondale, right? But I don't believe this guy. Like, I don't believe them. I don't believe, because, to me, they're all Bill Clinton. Like, to me, they are all Bill Clinton.
So,
but last night was the first time where I was like, well, maybe Biden is getting to that age where he's like, man, fuck it, I'll do something for America. I know what they want, right? And he actually showed it last night. So shout out to his debate prep team too, man. Y'all came through, Team Biden.
So the idea was Trump had to win a debate because, one, he canceled one, or he was the reason one got canceled, and he looked like a damn hot mess on the stage on the first one. He didn't win a debate last night. He did not win a debate. And I don't know what Marcus was watching as it pertains to the last answer to that question. Joe Biden did a great job pointing out that he was part of the problem, but it wasn't the 94 crime bill. It was the 80s cocaine bill. He said it was a mistake, and I've been trying to correct it ever since. So I think people, here's what we would be remiss. If we believe that we can use our current times to judge past generations and what people asked for in the past, then we're all doomed in our older days, because everybody is going to feel like what we did in our lifetime was not enough. That is the purpose of next generation evolution, not in the scientific term, but in being better than the people that came before you that looked like you. So we must admit, Joe Biden, being a Democrat in the 90s, voting against the crime bill would have got him drugged by black community. We just got to say that. And then we start from, and then we have to start from there.
Let me say real quick, Marcus. I fully expect, to what you're saying, Mundell, I fully expect that if the world is here, if civilization is here in 100 years and we haven't destroyed ourselves, that our great-grandchildren are going to look at us like barbarians because of eating meat, right? I think that there's going to have to naturally be an evolution away from that, and they're going to cancel us. I fully expect to be canceled because of all my videos online of me barbecuing stuff. They're going to look at us and say he was a progressive, but he was a barbarian. And that's just kind of like the evolution. That's how it happens. Things that are acceptable today will not be acceptable in 30 years ago. If we really look at a lot of people who talking, we go back 20 years ago and look at our homophobia and just the culture around it, some of the words that we would say, we should, there just ain't no record of me dropping all those words. So, in that respect, we all are cancelable. I like that Joe Biden apologized again, but only thing I said, and like I said on TYT last night, he knows how to be empathetic. If he could have actually shown some a depth of empathy, like connect with us about the 94 crime bill the way you connected with us about COVID-19, I think it could have just completely changed everything around, right? I think he did a good job. I think he did a good job, but I just think he could have done an even better. I think he could have hit a home run.
That's what I was getting. Hold on, Marcus. Let me finish.
I want to respond to your first statement.
Yeah, but I ain't finished my first statement. Mr. Ben interrupted me.
Like Ben
No, I didn't.
Here we go.
Ben interrupted me.
Here we go.
Ben interrupted me, bro. I was still talking.
Well, let me interrupt you one more time. Happy birthday to Gina Jones and you on
y'all
on
not
YouTube.
hear me?
Yeah, I'm just messing with you, dude. Go ahead.
I'm literally like, I was talking and Ben started giving his analysis. You think you gonna jump in with that?
You took you took a pause.
Sure. I didn't.
You got it. You
took a deep
Sorry,
breath, bro. Go ahead, Mundell. We quiet. You got it, bro.
All right. So all I was saying was.
So like I was saying though.
Hey, Mondell, stand up.
Hey, we try to get our ratings up, bro. Stand up real quick.
Our ratings up, bro.
I got something for y'all niggas.
All right, for real. All jokes aside. Finish your thought, man.
So what I was saying was the empathy, Ben, that you're looking for existed if you compare the responses when Donald Trump think he's the least racist person in the room and there's a black woman doing the moderation. And also when you see what Joe Biden, somebody talked to Joe Biden about the talk. Donald Trump has no clue what the talk is. The answer that he gave about the talk made him clueless. And he was so out of touch when Joe Biden called him Abraham Lincoln. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody in the world knew that was a joke except for him. Like, it speaks. This guy is a sociopath in his own space. But I feel like Joe Biden on the black questions did a damn good job last night. He didn't go straight to criminal justice reform or any of that. He went straight to the talk and what the talk was and why it was wrong. He talked about institutional racism in this country, and we got to be straight about that. And then he talked about how the promise of America, the self-evident, those things that are self-evident have not been self-evident ever for Black America, which is actually a critique of Make America Great without saying it, without saying the slogan at all. Right? This is how you tear down a slogan without ever using it, which means you're not talking in Donald Trump's paradigm, which is why Donald Trump was completely lost and didn't even realize his whole slogan, his whole idea was being shot in the face. This idea that America is not racist. This idea, he even talked about Donald Trump ending federal policies to teach inclusion without saying it, right? He was like, this guy, he said, this guy ending programs to teach people how to be more inclusive. Yep, right. Yep. So I mean, like, he's talking about how Donald Trump is being least anti-American, and ain't no such time as Make America Great Again. So I appreciate how he showed up last night. Plus, like you said, Marcus, Joe Biden did a great job as it pertains to this election. I'm talking about what's at stake, this election, making people understand that this guy's a liar. And I was talking to one person, he was like, Trump was calm, and I'm like, yeah, but he was lying the entire time. He told more lies this time than he ever had. So it's like, damn, we sacrifice crazy for liar. Those are the options with this president.
Yeah, my moment of the debate made me post something on Twitter and Instagram last night and Facebook. My moment of the debate is how this orange-haired dude was able to pay taxes ahead. So America, I just want to let you know something. I paid my 2028 taxes this morning, and also the Jaguars win the whole Super Bowl in 2023.
So it's more feasible for you to have paid your 2028 taxes already than for Jacksonville Jaguars to win.
I'm just giving y'all the future, because how the hell you go? Okay, how you pay your taxes in the future? First, that didn't happen. He lied, right? Something like that might have happened, but what he was trying to get at.
Marcus, what you just told is people, that shit went over people's head. So slow it down. Like my man, I'm gonna slow it down. Bring it back.
I'm gonna bring it back. This morning I paid my taxes for the year 2028. I paid my taxes all the way through the year 2028. I know exactly how much money I'm making for the next 8 years. I guarantee you. I know exactly how many houses I'll have. I know exactly how many cars I have. I know exactly how many businesses I have. Right?
Was he projecting that far out?
I have in those businesses. So I paid all of my taxes from now until 2028. And also the Jacksonville Jaguars, since I've seen the future, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the sorry team out of Duval.
Okay.
They're going to win the whole thing in 3 years from now.
And a woman, and they're gonna have a woman quarterback when they do it.
So they'll have a woman quarterback. No, and a linebacker. Her name is Bertha.
So listen, here's why it was genius what Marcus just did. Donald Trump told on himself last night. Like, there's only one way you can prepay your taxes: if you have asked for an extension or you missed a year and you're projecting what you think you owe. Right? So we know somebody in his camp told him this is how you can get out of this, thinking that. Just like what he said, Donald Trump on stage last night once again called Americans dumb. Did y'all hear him? He told us, I don't want to say it, but low IQ. He was about to say dumb and stupid. He had to check himself. So once again, he called people dumb. He think people are dumb, and that answer, that, like Marcus said, that future answer is
you can't do it. You can't. It's not possible, right? And I think most adults, if you're over the age of 18, you start paying taxes, right? Like, you have to file your taxes.
16 if you're working.
16 if you're working. You can't tell me that any of y'all pay y'all taxes at 18 for 25 years old. Come on, bro.
Marcus, somebody one-upped you in the chat room on YouTube. Gregory Kenyanagi said, I got you beat, Marcus. I died and had my funeral last year.
Well done, Gregory. Well.
See, I'm too superstitious to joke like that. But that's a good one though. That's a good one.
Yeah, we were talking about Lucifer yesterday, so might as well just.
So no. See, this is how I do it. My funeral is in 2061. That's a 2071. That's what I'll do it because I can't talk about last year.
To the audience, real quick. I don't know if you can tell, but my photo don't look like it normally does. My picture, my stream is not like the rest of the guys today. This is the. I've never bashed Apple ever. This is complication. I got to do it.
Yep.
When I use my PC with our technology that we use to stream, the cameras and stuff that we use, it works immaculately. However, when I bring this Apple out, this MacBook Pro that costs you whatever it costs, I ain't gonna say it.
2 stacks. I'm gonna say it. 2 stacks.
3 stacks.
3 stacks. Jesus. So it is absolutely ridiculous that this computer, Apple makes these computers so complicated they don't communicate with anyone's software without another piece of software.
The thing. But I don't understand because normally it's plug and play with Apple, right? That's one thing I appreciate. I have never had to go install a single driver with Apple. But you having a different kind of experience this morning. But your microphone sound good, so that's a good thing. We got a couple of super chats I want to put on the screen while we got them fresh.
Before you start talking about the super chats, I noticed something. I didn't know what the Dragon Squad was all about until like 2 days ago when I started asking questions, right? And so I apologize to all the Dragon Squad folks who I just didn't know who y'all were, but y'all shit is kind of dope, man. So y'all, matter of fact, the whole damage report thing is dope. Like It's real dope. Like I like it. I'm a fan. So y'all tell y'all homie to show up on our shit sometimes, since he always taking Ben from us. Y'all tell y'all homeboy to come over here and join our shit sometimes.
Hey man, I probably get hit. Well, it's 5:00 in the morning over there.
That's what I'm saying. Just tell them to join our shit too. And also for everybody who's watching, Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. CPT went on CPT time this morning. Sorry about that, but we were a little late. But
oh wow, that's
CPT went on CPT time this morning.
Thirst Trap.
Yeah,
wow.
Color people time. People time. Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. Anyway, to all of our viewers,
time is white man construct, brother, and you bringing that to our show in this sacred space. Shame on you, Marcus. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame.
Oh Lord! Somebody one up everybody. They said talking about his funeral was last year. One Law Spirit on YouTube said Herman Cain has entered the chat. Yeah.
Oh, well done! Wow.
Damn.
Wow. Hopefully,
that's some more crap shit right there.
Yeah, but I wasn't finished. I gotta ask while our viewers are watching the show. I gotta ask, since they got the Dragon Squad. And since so many other people have so many things, to our viewers who watch Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap, who are we? What y'all want to name the Clickbaity crew? You know what I mean? Y'all come up with some decent names just while we're doing the rest of our show. Maybe
trappers, man.
Huh?
What is it?
They trappers.
Oh, they trappers.
Thirst trappers.
They said no. See.
Nah, that's a little.
I like it. They thirst trappers. Look at them.
Trapper, I don't.
A perfect example that they're thirst trappers.
Trap.
Hold on, watch this. We have somebody who gives us a reparation every day. He's thirsty. It's thirst trapper.
Hey, but he's not in the room. He's not in the room today, man.
We want you to keep going, bro. We didn't say I mean that. Hey man, y'all gave that. I wanted to comment on the cancelable items real quick. Like 30 years from now, we'll be canceled about things, and I want to give y'all that, but I also want to say that there's always a motherfucker in the room who say, I told you so. Mm-hmm. Right? There's always somebody there that says, so like when chattel slavery started, what started right along with it? Abolitionists. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. When we started eating meat as human beings, I'm pretty sure there was some skinny, dude that was out there like, dog, keep eating these apples. What you doing killing the horse? Or what you doing killing the cow? And also, when the crime bill was written, I'm pretty certain that there was somebody,
couple of somebodies,
Biden, that was like, yo, this is not right.
Yeah.
We are targeting a certain community. Just like when there was a war in Iraq and we have a certain congresswoman by the name of Barbara Lee who stood up there and literally by herself, only vote in Congress, literally said this war is full of shit. And at the time, if you were a patriot, like if you were a Democrat, Democrats and Republicans were trying to out-patriot each other, right?
Yeah.
Written 9/11, and there was one black woman by herself, even the black men, John Lewis included.
Yep.
Even the black men were like, we got to go to war. We got to fight. We got to fight. We got to go to war. And there was one sister that was like, yeah, this don't make any sense. In hindsight, that woman should be president right now.
But I agree. I don't disagree with you.
So I guess what I'm saying is, yes, we do some cancelable stuff, but also that takes away from the accountability of making the decision when somebody else is in the room saying, hey, man, this is a bad idea. You just chose not to listen to that person, which makes it even worse to me.
Well, actually, I can't. I agree with everything that you said, just up to the last part, because it doesn't make it worse to me because it takes it going against the grain is a rare trait, right? And we're talking about enough votes to actually. You're talking about a majority of people that we need to have foresight, right, and have clarity of foresight like Barbara Lee had, right? And that's just, we've never seen that. I've never seen that in world history.
I don't think that was foresight.
In the history of nigga.
Ben, that wasn't foresight. I disagree
what
with
would
that
you call
statement
it?
Completely. That was common sense. That
wasn't common sense,
But
Marcus.
even if we could, I'll give you common sense. We can call it common sense.
Common sense. It wasn't foresight. Is okay. Well, this is what might happen. Barbara Lee was like, I don't really see shit.
Right.
Yeah. So
I don't necessarily disagree.
I don't see anything.
I don't disagree,
Yeah,
but
so
still,
it
we're still
wasn't
talking
common
about.
sense
And you mentioned going against the grain, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You got a whole ass career off of going against the grain.
Who, Barbara Lee?
Yeah, this show goes against the grain, right?
Yeah,
like
this show ain't being filmed in 1994.
No, but on the same token, there's a lot of lawmakers who are still doing some cancelable crap that right now, right? Right now, that 30 years from now, they're going to be like, oh, we were right. We should have passed Medicare for all. There is always a dissenting voice. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with you, gentlemen. I'm just saying there's always a dissenting voice right there in the room, right there with you.
But Marcus, what I'm saying is you're talking about a dissenting voice versus an entire people. An entire people were
enough to make policy, the right policy decision. And
it's not one dissenting voice for Medicare for all. Majority of Americans want Medicare for all, bro.
But on the same token, I'm talking about
I'm about to mute y'all niggas though. Go ahead. y'all taking advantage of the fact that I ain't got but 3 hours of sleep there. Now let me finish my goddamn thought. God damn it.
I drink more of that coffee and speed up. Look at that on.
What I'm trying to say is, Marcus, you ain't wrong. You actually right. Mundell, what we try to say is that it takes a majority, and it always starts with one person having the integrity and the foresight and the common sense to say the right thing at the right time. Barbara Lee was one. Bernie Sanders, for greater or lesser extent, he was one in 94. He called out exactly what this was going to do. Now, he signed up. He did. He got the speeches.
There's video of him also saying why we need it and talking about thugs.
What video he was talking about thugs in the 94 crime bill?
I've never seen that.
I know. I'm a hold down. I'm trying to tell you, when I say I'm a nerd, I'm a nerd. I shared it with
Go grab that video, man.
I shared it with these. Listen, the video is so powerful.
That video
He's
over the top.
sitting in the comfort of local TV in Vermont, white state, talking about these thugs. We know what it is. And
listen, I ain't got no saviors. I ain't got no saviors. Send the video and I'll play it. I'll put it on here.
Always that he did it because he was protecting women. And then I showed him a video. So I seen 4 white Bernie supporters explode when I showed him the video. So I'm telling you,
send the video. Like I said, I ain't got no saviors. You ain't got no saviors. Send it over and we'll play it. I ain't got no love. I got no problem.
Might explode.
Mundell, I mean, straight up, Benjamin takes down billionaires. Like,
so it don't matter.
Clickbaity political thirst trap literally could blow up with this video. So come on, man. What are you doing? This guy have already proven what he. Hey, man, listen. We got Ben on the show, dog. You know, Ben Dixon.
No. I'm just saying, like,
Don't tell Ben we got a battery pack in him. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking, man. I'm joking.
The point remains is there's always going to be somebody who has the integrity, the common sense, and the foresight to and call on the people to do the right thing and in the moment, right? But but it's rarely ever the majority, and it always takes that person years to convince me. I mean, how long did it take for Barbara Lee to be vindicated? Man, it took damn near 10 years for her to be vindicated.
I mean, do you remember she was getting death threats about that, bro?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I get it, but I'm just talking about the humanity and the morality aspect of this thing, real quick. Right? Like, I don't give a fuck if 100 people are wrong. Doesn't mean that it makes it okay 30 years later. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just
right.
The problem is this happens more with black people than anybody else.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Like, if other constituencies, you know, feel harmed, and there is a group consensus from a certain amount of people that is goes against it, the right thing for those other constituencies might happen anyway, just because, you know, you're not black. So, you know what, let's try it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So
I want to get this super chat that came a long time ago, and it was a question before it disappears. I want to read it. Talisha says, did you guys ever discuss how it appears Biden stacking his cabinet with right-wingers? Do you think it's just a tool to get Republicans to vote? What are your thoughts about that?
It's not true. He's not appointed one person to a cabinet. What are we talking about?
Well, they're
but he's signaling that, Mondale.
Yeah, they're signaling it. Yeah.
He's not signaling anything, bro. Trust me. I think what people are doing, people are taking traditional campaigns and trying to apply it right now. I literally just seen a Biden ad where he said it's a big fucking deal. This election is a big fucking deal. They're being pushed, and that's what I'm trying to tell Marcus. When you said maybe Biden's getting to the age where he's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do what I want to, or I'm just gonna do it." Nah, that ain't what it is. People are, they're being pushed by forces, and when we do that, when we give Biden credit for where Biden is right now, when Biden's not afraid no longer to say Medicare for all or a public option, which we know is going to end up being Medicare for all. When they saying that ain't because they want to say it. They have no choice. They have no choice. They have no choice.
Mondale, what's up, man? You've been doing a lot of Biden protecting recently, bro.
I was gonna say you're on the next level, man. like we also. Go ahead.
You give it to me real, my brother. You know I love you. I love you like you literally are my brother. What's going on, man? You got some Biden things going on that you ain't telling me about?
I like to tell the truth. That's what's going on.
He just stepped on my Jordans.
They paying you Mondale. They sending you some Biden bucks.
Hey, he gonna get real mad.
Mondale. It was a joke. It was a joke, man. I get it. Yeah, Mondale by the snap.
The good thing is that's one thing about me. I have zero motherfucking checks from the Biden campaign. Zero.
That's love.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sure that they
and I get to keep my integrity because I ain't had to do no fuck bullshit and say, you know what I'm saying? I ain't listen.
Here, I got something to make you feel better, Mondale. Let me read this. Well, actually, no, hold on. Let me check myself because Tamara might come track me down to Massachusetts for saying that.
She gone. Say it, bro. Okay. She gone.
All right, so this is from Valerie Blake.
Don't trust that. You can take that shit on the road.
This is from
Valerie. Watch that shit on the cell phone. Like, just be very careful, bro.
This is from Valerie, a super chat on YouTube. She said, when Mondale smiles, oh my God, and that salt and pepper, okay to be back to politics.
Like I said, our viewers are thirst trappers. Thank you, Valerie. We love it.
I knew that. Hey, Marcus, I told you that's going to make that nigga smile.
Yeah, we need to get him smiling. Hey, listen, man.
He completely over the fact that I just said he got Biden bucks. He good now. He good now because he got
listen, you said Biden bucks. Let me tell you something. The people that went to Livingstone College know it's why that's funny to me.
What's that?
Idea of, like, we had a president at Livingstone College, and his name was Jimmy. Like when he when he was doing something, like we had a family meeting every Wednesday. That's what you do at HBCUs, especially when it's owned by the school is owned by a black church, right? So every Wednesday was basically like a Wednesday mass, and one department from the school would run the program, but it was about their religion and their choir singing and whatever. The president would come up there, he had his own bucks, and he would give you about, like, you could spin them around campus. So when you say like Biden bucks. I could just laugh. I was just laughing my ass off about
that. Takes you back to school. Huh?
Yeah, it's funny.
So a couple more people want to know what we thinking about what we thought about the debate. I think we gave a pretty good summary of the debate, man. I think Biden did his thing. I think Trump. Here's the thing that stood out the most to me about this debate. Donald Trump's shenanigans are up, man. I don't think any of his shit works anymore. All the stupidity that worked in 2016 just ain't working in 2020. I think America grew. America grew the hell up, and he didn't. And now we all look, not all of us. You still got people who still love this clown, but the majority, I think the vast majority of America is looking back like, how the hell did we end up with this clown? What do y'all think about that?
I'm gonna go back first. I'm gonna answer that. And matter of fact, Mondale can answer that, but I didn't answer the last question about Biden and these Republicans.
Okay.
That shit happening.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't care what Mondale says. No offense to Mondale. That shit happening. It makes all the sense in the world, man. You don't get the massive amount of Republican support from retired Republicans who've been in D.C. in the swamp for that long without a give and take, because that's how the Republican Party organically works.
See, Marcus is tripping.
Republicans don't do a damn thing without getting something out of it. Democrats will do something without getting something out of it, just to prove for morality's sake. Republicans don't have morals like that, right? And if they do have morals, the morals is more so tailored to their interests. So you'd be remiss. I'd be remiss if I sat up here and thought that the rumors that are coming out about Biden and vetting Republicans for certain positions weren't true. I mean, come on, man. Like, you got former governors, senators, wives of dead politicians who are all Republican supporting the Biden campaign. Yes, Trump's a hot mess, but on the same token, they can literally just shut up and be all right with it, whatever happens. They're not just shutting up. They're actually going out there campaigning for the Biden campaign. Now, listen, again, we got to get the fascists out of office, but you are almost foolish to believe that Republicans won't be all up in that administration, smiling in the videos, dancing in the videos. That's why you need to come to the progressive side of the house.
So let me say something real quick. Hold on.
Let me, because I'm actually gonna fall on your side of the equation, Mondale.
Go ahead, G.
I'm actually, I think, yeah, because I agree, Marcus. I see your logic. I see everything that you're saying, and I think historically you are spot on, right? But I just think that in 2020, everything that has happened, I think the people around Biden, now Biden gets to make the final decision, so who knows how that thing gonna go. But I really do think he got some progressive ass people around him who's pushing him and egging him on that will throw a complete fit. Now, he can ignore them. He can completely ignore them and say, no, we got to do the bipartisan dance. You might be right in that regard. But I'm listening to some key things that he's been saying, and he said last night, I'm like, oh, nah, he's got some people around him that are actually pushing him. And in response, the number one reason I think that this may not happen, and I hope it does not happen, is because what's going to have to be done around the Supreme Court when they appoint Amy Coney Barrett. Like, he cannot afford, if they are serious about doing something about the judiciary, he can't have Republicans in there who are going to be constantly pushing him towards leaving the bench exactly the way it is. Now, you might be right, Marcus, but I just think he's got some players around him who are really going to push him in a progressive direction.
I mean, Wall Street is undefeated.
So let me also add to the fact that to believe that Republicans are capping for Biden is to say that I haven't been paying attention to politics for the past 4 years since Donald Trump got elected, or even when he was running. Donald Trump was never the Republican candidate. He was the guy who won the Republican primary. They were going after him way before Joe Biden was the nominee, way before the last election ended. So there was an entire group of the Never Trumpers is not a response to Joe Biden's campaign. But this is not about Joe Biden or getting something or how Republicans played. That ain't what it is. These guys have been consistent against Trump. Hell, we had a married couple, one working for Trump and one crashing him every day online. Those are the Republicans that are going at Trump. The entire Lincoln Project had nothing to do with Joe Biden. It's older than Joe Biden. These guys are not doing it because they're trying to get something from Joe Biden. I'm talking about the guys who are like these conservatives, Smith, these guys who work for Romney, these guys who work for McCain, Bush. Okay. These people hate Trump.
Can I respond? Can I respond, gentlemen, real quick?
Do it.
They capping. They all capping. I don't care what y'all say right now. They capping, and y'all know they capping. Here's why I know that y'all know that they capping. Pretty simple. Wall Street is undefeated. during the largest pandemic in American history, recent American history, Wall Street and the billionaires made so many more billions during this pandemic, right? And if you think that they don't have their tentacles in both administrations, you're wrong. Listen, you're absolutely right, Mondale. The moderate Republicans and certain Republicans in the party have always hated Trump, and it's not about Trump, right? But on the same token, if they are making any kind of movement and deals with the Democratic Party and Joe Biden campaign, which they have already shown us, like, I'm not going to be a person who doesn't believe my lying ass eyes. I'm not going to do that. I see it. I mean, Americans see it. Like the bipartisanship. I mean, Joe Biden answered the question last night in a beautiful way, and I give him props for it. What do you say to the people who, if you win, and the people who didn't vote for you? And basically, it was a very bipartisan. We are going to make America great again, and we are going to make America what fulfill the promise of America, or something like that. But he literally is basically saying, like, oh, you guys are going to be at the table also. Wrong. You know why that's wrong? Because wherever Republicans are at the table, progressive ain't. That's it. And I mean, and I'm sorry.
We lost you, Mondale. Go ahead.
I'm here. I'm just waiting on Marcus to finish.
If you guys are right, man, America's gonna be a great place. But I'm sorry, man, history's on my side with this.
So Marcus I like what Marcus just did, but what he just did was muddied the water, and we just got to be honest about that. You went from saying that man was vetting people. You said these Republicans were not. You said these Republicans were working directly with Biden in the form of being vetted for cabinet positions, and they're only standing up because they don't have that type of morals unless they was getting something out of the deal. Then you went from there to saying Wall Street is winning and undefeated, and both parties are working with Wall Street. That was not my argument. So first, hold on, Marcus. I listened to it. I'm gonna respond. All right, I'm gonna respond. Just thank you, thank you. So, but you can't do is muddy what I said. I said the pushback from Republicans on Trump is not a direct link to Joe Biden's campaign. I said it started before he won the presidency, and the same group of Republicans, the Never Trumpers, along with the Lincoln Project, is not a result of Biden promising people positions. It's a result of motherfuckers knowing that Trump was not a Republican. Trump is a guy who won the Republican nominee for president because of their base, not because of the establishment. The establishment hate Trump. They didn't just hate him when he ran in 2016. They hate him and what he's doing to the party. And so now you have people saying it out loud. That's all my argument was. Not that people are capping for Joe Biden because he's promising positions. They're capping because they don't like Trump. They never did.
I think Marcus, before you get in there, let me throw this in there. There is a Republican Party after Donald Trump. And I think there's going to be a Republican Party that runs as fast as they can away from any memory of Donald Trump. I think they're going to exile that motherfucker so much so that he has no place in this country almost. That said, there is a power structure for these Republicans to latch on to have power. I think previously everything I ever said was that the Lincoln Project is going to come and seize power in the Democratic Party. But there is a Republican Party for them to have power in and to fundraise through and to run. Trump hasn't destroyed the Republican Party, even though he should have. Like, this should be the end of the Republican Party.
Agreed.
But it ain't. They're going to be here for years and years to come. And so there's going to be always money and structure. They're going to go right back to being the intransigent opposition to the Democrats that they have always been. And so to that extent, I think they have a place to go. If they have a place to go, then that means that they don't necessarily get a position in a Trump, in a Biden administration. But I agree. You were right in terms of historical perspective. Your view and through the lens of history isn't wrong, Marcus.
Yeah, listen, guys. I'm going to repeat this one more time. When Republicans are at the table, progressives aren't. I'm going to prove my point like this right here. If we've all been around campaigns. When somebody endorses a campaign, you have to coordinate that endorsement. right? Then you want to utilize that endorsement in the most effective way possible. So possibly a communications director will call up the person, the chief of staff, or the person who's handling all of the other person's the endorser's affairs. They'll call them up. They'll work something out, right? Okay, well, I'm going to drop this endorsement on October 15th. And when I drop this endorsement, we're gonna make sure that Biden, that Joe Biden or whatever comes together with you on a Skype, and we're gonna set the Skype up, and you're gonna call it in, this, that, and the other. That's a lot of communication. There's a lot of communication with the person who's endorsing and the campaign that endorses, right? So if you notice something, people from the progressive side of the house, they haven't been getting those endorsements and those communications with folks who are progressive like that. But what I've seen a lot more of is Republicans getting coordinated with. Now, if you know the nature of the Republican Party, just the nature of it, the historical nature of the Republican Party, they play for keeps. They play for wins. And they're not switching over to the Democratic Party. And if they're endorsing Joe Biden, at the end of the day, there are going to be positions that are within that administration that are Republican-led because of the seemingness of bringing America together. We don't play for kills in the Democratic Party. We play for kumbayas. Meanwhile, Republicans are hugging us while pulling out the knife and stabbing us in the back every chance that they get. And if I'm wrong, I'm cool with that. But unfortunately,
I don't think you're wrong per se. I think everybody is leaving out a pretty significant factor, right? Somebody said in the chat room on YouTube, I put it on the screen already, that progressives haven't been at the table since the 60s. And that's the truth of the matter. Like, we weren't at the table in 92 when Bill Clinton was elected president. So they did all the, bipartisanship, triangulation, and the era of big government is over. We weren't even at the table in 2008 because of the way Barack Obama arranged his fundraising mechanisms to snatch money away from all the individual organizations. That's how Barack Obama was able to just go in and do whatever he wanted to do with Wall Street. And his first appointment was Timothy Geithner, straight out of Wall Street. We have more institutional power as progressives now than we have ever had in our lifetimes. I think we have to see how that institutional power is wielded. If they wield it successfully, they can put, and I feel like we got power on the outside that's doing it right now. They could put pressure on Joe Biden that we have not been able to put on any Democratic president in our lifetime. And because we have the structure, we have the fundraising capacity, we got the numbers, we got the email list, and we didn't have that since the 60s.
Hey, may I just say one more thing? The Republican Party before Donald Trump still were masters at gerrymandering, still were masters at picking apart the courts, still were masters at empowering the current police structure that we have right now. Yeah, the Republican Party that was before Donald Trump literally got some of their issues pushed up and elevated through Donald Trump, even though they hate his guts. So, because Donald Trump even having, and we know that it's not the best, it's a disingenuous argument, but Donald Trump letting black men out of jail, even just one, pisses off all the Republican Party, right? And I'm not sitting up here saying that it was a genuine act. What I am saying though is that, we're still talking about the Republican Party here, right? And we're making, having conversations with the old school Republican Party that literally was packing courts as much as they possibly could also. Gerrymandering districts, right? Discounting numbers in the census, not funding black areas in America, not funding people of color areas in America, cutting taxes for the rich, right? This is the same Republican Party. It hasn't changed that much.
So listen, Marcus is not wrong. I think though it's dangerous to exaggerate in that manner. When we say we got to be honest. There was bipartisan. What's the idiot name from Kentucky that nobody likes? The doctor.
McConnell?
The doctor. Paul.
Ron Paul or Rand Paul?
He's an advocate for criminal justice reform. We just gotta admit that. But before we get too far down this hole, Marcus, let me divert us a quick. I've sent Ben something I need Ben to play. Ben, if you can load that, let me tee it up. This is gonna be an extended watch video because this is important that folks see what's going on. And when you watch this
Where'd
video,
you send it?
To your text message.
Okay.
When you watch this video, Thirst Trappers, I need y'all to do something. Take off all of your what you think you know
This
about
nigga,
people
he took
in
his time to
2020
go find this.
and go back to 1994 and put in context what you're watching. Let me set the context for you. Notice who's sitting around Bernie Sanders.
Oh,
I'm
you
not gonna
found
tell
it.
you who.
You found it.
It wasn't Lowe's. I just had to go back to my videos to my crew where I had sent it. When I told you I didn't seen people explode because I shared this video.
Man, why you didn't show me this in
I didn't send this to the
2016?
group that you were in before, brother. You just ignore when I post.
No,
You
you
because
didn't
I
even hear
talk a
what
lot.
I
I
said.
get it.
April
It's easy to ignore me.
2015, it might have helped me out. I would have had less gray hairs. Oh, you just wanted somebody to have gray like you. I got you.
I don't want too many people to have gray like me. This is knowledge. Listen, so Ben, I'm teeing this up for our people. Now, Bernie's defense.
Take your time. Take your time teeing it up because I got to download it. But go ahead.
Yeah. So Bernie's defense supposedly on the Congress floor was he supporting this bill because, listen to me, because of the protections they put in there for women. I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just telling you when he got home, he had a different reason, and he wasn't surrounded by women advocate groups. So I need you to pay attention to who he announced, who he's sitting beside, or who he's sitting in between.
This thing is 40 minutes long.
We're going to listen to the first 5 or 6 minutes, and it's important that we do because the first 5 or 6 minutes is going to say something, and we're going to let our audience determine what Bernie thinks about the '94 crime bill and how he felt about it then.
All right, it's downloading. I got 4 seconds remaining. 3,
yeah. I'm a nerd, bro. A whole nerd, and I need people to understand that. Like, I don't just be up here screaming at y'all for no reason.
Marcus, all right, here we go. I'm gonna drop it.
Being with his nice edge head. This is
like you.
Here we go. I'm glad this came up.
Here it is. It's playing.
All right, we're gonna watch this. This is gonna.
You said the first 5 minutes, right?
I can't see shit.
Marcus, turn it up, Marcus, so you can hear it.
I can't see shit.
You got to watch it on y'all two got to watch it on YouTube or Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks all for coming. And I'm very happy to have with me today Police Chief Brian Searles of the South Burlington Police Department. Chief Searles has been in law enforcement for 26 years. He has been the police chief in South Burlington for 5 years. And very importantly, he is the legislative chairperson of the Vermont Association of Chiefs of Police,
an
organization which has come out in support of the crime bill. And I'm also very happy to have with me Susan
Don't skip anything, please.
Who is the executive director of the Sarah Holbrook Center here in Burlington. And as you know, Sarah Holbrook is an organization that has been on the front line in dealing with the problems of troubled youth and their families. And I'll make a statement and then we'll give it over. The people of Vermont and the citizens of our country are rightfully angry about the epidemic of crime which exists in America today. People are angry that they cannot walk the streets without fear. They are angry that their own homes are no longer safe to them. They are angry that children are carrying guns to school rather than books. They are angry that women are being battered and murdered by their partners and spouses. They are angry that children are being abused, and they are angry that drugs are destroying the lives of hundreds of thousands of young people. There are many things, in my view, that government in a civilized society should be doing. Obviously, keeping the citizens safe from violence and physical assault is one of the most important roles that a government can play and must play. And that simply is what this crime bill is all about. It seeks to address the growing epidemic of violence in America by committing over $30 billion to fighting crime, which is the largest appropriation for crime fighting in the history of the United States. The crime bill that I voted for on Thursday, and which failed by 15 votes, is not a perfect bill. However, in my view, there is much in this bill of major importance and value to the citizens of Vermont and to the citizens of America, and I believe that it is a bill that is worth supporting. I voted for the bill on Thursday, and barring major changes in it, I intend to vote for it when it comes up this week. I'm going to vote for it again. Anytime one addresses a major issue like crime, and when one talks about an appropriation of $30 billion, which is a lot of money, it is easy to poke holes in that bill, and it is easy to tell us that the legislation is not perfect. Well, I agree. This legislation is not perfect. Let's be clear about it. Easy to tell us that the legislation is not perfect. Well,
Marcus, turn it off for a second.
Crying out for the government to begin addressing the crisis of crime, there is no question in my mind that this bill, in a dozen different ways, is a major step forward in controlling and preventing crime. It is a bill that should be supported. Now let me enumerate just a few of the provisions in the bill which I believe will have a positive impact upon Vermont and the nation. Number one, simply and straightforwardly, we need more cops on the beat. We need more community policing. At a time when cities and towns and state government in Vermont too often have to choose between raising taxes, and we are dependent upon the regressive property tax, or providing adequate police protection, this legislation will provide more than $43 million for new local and state police officers. That is a lot of money for increasing police, and that is a real need in the state of Vermont. The state of Vermont needs more police officers. We need more community policing. We need more police protection in our most rural areas, and this legislation will play a significant role in allowing that to happen. Number two, equally importantly, while this legislation is very strong on increasing police protection, on stiffening penalties against criminals so that violent offenders remain behind bars where they should be, it also provides a significant sum of money to prevent crime, to keep our young people off of drugs, to stop the tragedy of violence against women before it happens, to provide alternatives so that young people do not have to turn to gangs to turn to crime. In other words, there is a significant sum of money which says let us try to get to the root causes of crime rather than just put people behind bars. Now, as you all know, I was mayor of Burlington for 8 years, and the approach that I and the city of Burlington took during that period, which I believe worked well, and the approach that this bill takes in general, which I believe can work well, is based on a two-pronged approach to crime. When I was mayor, we significantly expanded our police force and we provided stronger law enforcement. And at the same time, we developed a number of crime prevention programs that were designed to give young people, especially, constructive, organized activities that would allow them to grow intellectually, allow them to grow emotionally, and give them the opportunity to do something else with their lives rather than turn toward drugs and self-destruction and crime. And that is what I think the direction we have got to go in this country, a two-pronged approach. Increased law enforcement and yet increased efforts to prevent young people from turning to crime. Ultimately, if we are going to address the crime crisis in America, we have got to ask ourselves a very simple question. And that question is, why is it that in the United States today, we have the dubious distinction of having, on a per capita basis, more people in jail than any other country in the industrialized world? That dubious distinction used to be owned by the Soviet Union, an authoritarian society, and South Africa, former South Africa, an authoritarian society. And yet now we have that distinction. And I think clearly what we must understand is that the crime rate will increase, more and more people will be in jail unless we begin to deal with the causes of crime, unless we understand.
Everybody's microphones back on real quick. I think we gave it enough context. Mundell, give us the summary of what you wanted, or do you want to just see what the audience heard?
We can let the audience talk, but I mean, like, for when people talk, so when people, come on, guys, I mean, like, we know, I mean, we literally just had a back and forth between us three. Also, let the audience know that my camera's back, baby. So
you got the good camera.
Yeah, you see it.
No, I don't though.
You frozen.
You frozen. Yeah.
Hey, you wanna hop out and come back in?
Yeah, hop out and come right back in, and it should be good to go. And we lost your good microphone, but all right, we're good to go. All right, so let's get a poll from the audience. We're gonna let the audience decide, because I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. Audience, what did you think? Do you think that was talking out the side of his neck? Do you think that was being two-faced? Do you think it's substantively different than what he said in this clip? Let's take
The Chairman, let me begin with a profound remark. 2 + 2 equals 4. Let me begin with In other words, there is a logical and rational process called cause and effect. In terms of Newtonian physics, that means that every action causes an equal and opposite reaction. In other words, fellow members of the House, there are reasons why things happen, as controversial as that statement may be.
Ah, man, whoever said that was the wrong, that clip didn't have context. First of all, yeah, your camera looked way better. Welcome back to the land of the high definition, Mondale.
Yeah. So first of all, hold on.
Check your microphone. Switch your microphone real quick. Get back to your good microphone.
Yeah, I can't get back to the good microphone. That's the trade-off, bro.
That's a trade-off. Microphone versus okay, all right, go for it.
So listen, what we can't do is, like, that person that sent that clip is what Bernie people always want to do. I don't care what you say on national TV. You're acting right now. What you said at home to the people that vote for you is what you really fucking voting for. Stop playing with me. What you said on the congressional floor is a joke, where you can come right back home and say something completely different. So you trying to send a clip to this show. Hold on a second. You trying to send a clip to this show saying that the reason for supporting the crime bill was because of the protections for women. You went home and surrounded yourself with the police community and bragged about us needing more cops. Come on, guys, let's not be serious. Trump calling for more cops will get us cussing him the fuck out. Trump bragging about when he was a mayor of Burlington, Vermont, adding more cops to the city, bragging about beefing up the police, adding more police, $30 billion for more police, and y'all know what we would do. So don't sit back there with your progressive hat on and cap for Bernie Sanders. He voted for the crime bill just for the same reason everybody else did, and he just did it on his local TV. Big facts.
Mondale, you're frozen. we heard you. We heard your point.
Yeah,
Marcus, you're up. What do you think?
Ben, Mondale, I think black people are owed reparations. No, and I'm serious. That's
a good answer.
I just think black people are owed reparations and fix all the fuckery. Listen, it's been proven, it is evidence that the CIA put crack cocaine in black neighborhoods. That is a factual thing. Oliver North literally had to go on trial because of this whole thing about putting crack cocaine in black neighborhoods. So because black people weren't growing coca leaves in the Swats in Atlanta, right? We don't have the environment anywhere in America to grow coca leaves, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't have planes to ship the shit from South America to our neighborhoods and process it. So I'm going here for a reason, because so they put the drugs in our neighborhoods, they get us addicted to it, then they give us years of a higher sentencing rate for crack than cocaine, right? Then crime becomes bad in our neighborhoods after they drop these drugs in our neighborhoods. And then they say, well, these neighborhoods are dangerous places, right? They're dangerous because the government decided to make them dangerous. That's what happened. And then the politicians, including Bernie and Joe, want to rectify the situation with a BandAid by saying, okay, we're going to put more police in it. And that's a dangerous BandAid. The BandAid had a spike in it. The BandAid had like acid.
The BandAid had been used.
Yeah, the BandAid had been used. So we have this BandAid, and all of these righteous politicians now You know, I mean, they all made bad decisions on the crime bill, right? And, you know, like, I'm not giving Bernie any passes on it either. He shouldn't have signed it. And that video was visceral and ether-like that. Yeah, that's Bernie saying how we need more cops in our neighborhoods. And I am vastly against that. And any black, white, green politician that says we need more cops in our neighborhoods is full of shit. I don't care what you are. Bernie has since said he made a mistake about it. But I think at the end of the day, the crime bill, the cocaine crack disparity is the main reason why black people should have reparations in America. We have not seen a years of peace as a community since we got over here. God damn it, America, give us something. Like, even your progressive heroes help fuck us over. So what? There's no better argument. You know what? I want Medicare for all, but fuck that. Your fucking healthcare can wait until black people are center. I said it. I don't give a. Listen, I want Medicare for all, but I don't. You know what? Straighten out black people first. How about that? And then we can. Matter of fact, call a reparations package together, and then have a earmark that says Medicare for all in it. That's how.
Wow.
That's how I see it.
Wow.
Fix our shit first.
Wow.
Fuck. Even Bernie, Ben, you asked me what do I think about this? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, fuck, even Bernie.
But I mean, not that I got to tell you this, but you knew that though. You knew that from firsthand experience. But like, hearing that video is something different.
That's the first time I saw the video, mm-hmm. and now it just has me thinking, man, you motherfuckers really owe us really a lot. Mm. When the person that the centrist hates, the politician that the moderates and the centrists hate the most is a perpetrator of the thing that hurt black people also. Mm. Y'all ain't got no choice but to give us reparations. You know what? The minimum wage bill, that could be a earmark, right? Medicare for all, that could be an earmark. Everything else can be an earmark to me. And yeah, this is me being hyper selfish. This is me being hyper selfish. This is me being hyper.
Ain't no selfish about that.
Guess what? Like everything all these progressives want, everything, all of it. That shit can be an earmark in the reparations bill.
Let me try something real quick before we keep going, because Mundell, we got to get your audio back in the land of the living. You're looking great. Have you tried switching your Skype input for your microphone to your laptop?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you sound like you in a 1950s rotary phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stay on that rotary phone.
Oh no, it's gotten better. Whatever you just did sounded a little better.
Good.
I want to echo something real quick. I said this back in 2016. I had Bakari Sellers, who's on CNN on a regular basis, on my show, and we were supposed to debate. We were supposed to argue over Bernie versus Hillary. I said this back in 2016, before we even went on the air. I said, man, I'm not arguing with you on air on my show. Two black men arguing over two white old folks. I just ain't doing it no more. I ain't doing it with y'all. Not over Bernie, not over Biden, not over Trump. You know what I mean? I know that's not what we're doing. I just want to put in context. Like, we argue about the substance of arguments, and we disagree if we disagree with somebody's argument. But we ain't gonna sit here and argue over love for not now one of these 70 plus geriatric old white people who have done damage in our communities since they've been in office, to greater or lesser extent. That said, Marcus, the only thing I disagree with your argument on is a personal thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with your argument in general, but just for me personally, I personally and my family can't wait for America to get their soul right around reparations before we get access, before I can get some health care. Right. I'm just saying that, me personally. Everything else you said, you absolutely damn right. I ain't gonna argue with you about it. And Mundell, I ain't gonna argue with you to defend Bernie Sanders. I got off the Bernie Sanders train and it honestly took me having another conversation. Mundell, you remember when when they came down, not Mundell, but Marcus, you remember when they came down to Atlanta and we were at, what's that restaurant we were at? That they have good brunch down there.
Oh,
Sweet Lounge.
Yeah, Sweet.
We
Yeah.
were at Sweet Lounge and we were hanging out there and I pulled you to the side and I'm like, hey man, I know everything that happened to you in the campaign, but hey, we got to talk like, are we going to support him or what? I did not come out to support Bernie Sanders in 2020 until after I checked with Marcus because of everything that happened with Marcus in 2016. And I'm just saying that to say, like, I'm tired of arguing over old white folks. I'm tired of it. Like, because it don't do us nothing. It's like in some form or fashion, we all have been used as pawns, right? Just like everybody has in our respective places, no matter what color you are. Politics likes to use us as pawns. That said, hey, let's move forward.
Yeah, you know, real quick, before you jump in there, Mondale, real quick. You know why I said reparations for black people before Medicare for all? The only reason why I said that, Ben, because I understand exactly where you're coming from, because Medicare for all will save everybody and help out a lot of people immediately. But tactically, I'm tired of putting other people's shit first.
I agree with that, bro.
I'm just tired of putting. I'm tired of, like, this is like the first presidential election where reparations was said without somebody cringing, without one of these presidential candidates cringing. This is the first presidential election where black people and police were mentioned in debate, on debate stages.
Let me read this. Hang on, just let me read this. You can go right back to it. Dylan Thompson sent a super chat saying, Mundell schooled me on Jane yesterday and Bernie today. Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, he did. This is the first time in American history that they literally, mentioned policing and black people on presidential stages, right?
Imagine compare to what Bill Clinton did in 92, man, at Stone Mountain, man. Like what you saying is so true, Marcus.
Yeah, man. So you know how long black people been in this country since white people, right? Like, matter of fact, it's to be argued that black people were in America trading with Native Americans way before Columbus even got his ass over here. So we can have that conversation too. It's a factual thing. But I guess what I'm saying is, my frustration is we just won't center us. And I'll be damned if I start a show with with two other black men and not say we got to center black people now. That's just it. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I fell back after I showed the video so you guys can talk through that because I felt like y'all needed that. I think we all needed it because what it is, it's a reality check. It's like, so initially I never talked about that video beyond that point ever, because for me, it was like white progressives like to talk about Bernie being super progressive and black people voting against their own interests. And their reason is always that 94 crime bill and Joe Biden's support for it. Right. And I always in my head, I'm like, I'm going to see his reparations as enough. Like I tell them all the time, like, you guys know that every time we talk about Bernie, my argument is always, dude wasn't for reparations until this year, February of this year. Dude was reparations.
Wait, did he even? I don't think he ever come across.
He came out and said he'd be open for a study. That's what I mean.
No, his exact statements were, if Congress passes reparations, I'll sign the bill.
Yeah. So that's a leap from where he was before that, because before that he wasn't against it. He was where AOC was for reparations, which was, how do we determine what's black or who's black, is what she said in a room full of white people. Yeah, you saw the shade, Ben. I'm
You gotta explain, Mondo, you're gonna have to explain that one, man, because a lot of our people like AOC, man. You're gonna have to.
Listen, I like AOC, but I also like the truth, and I think this is why progressives don't care for me that much, because a lot of
grab that clip so we can. So I want to play that where AOC. I remember her saying that how we determine who's black.
South by Southwest. Her first year, she just got elected. She's soaring like a superstar, and people don't need to get upset with me. This is just a fact of political history, right? In a room full of white people, we know who go to South by Southwest. The questions of reparations for black people came up, and she was just saying she don't understand how do we determine who's black. And I'm thinking to myself, America already did that determination, champ. America already made that determination, and this is like, and if we set the context, we're obligated to know that. We're talking about election of, she had just won an election where she won all the gentrified neighborhoods in her district, and not so much the black and brown neighborhoods in her district, especially not the black votes, right? So,
Right.
so when we're talking about political context and what happened that year, that was part of it. So that video, when you pull up that video, know that it too is about an hour-long video, and you're gonna need to go to about the 33 mark before the question about reparation comes up. So I'm just telling people, like, it's important that we remember that politics isn't a zero-sum game. And I think what Marcus is saying about, I don't need to speak for Marcus because he does a great job doing it for himself. But what we do need to do is be honest about how the centering of black needs are usually put on the back burner. Black people are usually put on the back burner. And an ominous bill named reparations with earmarks for these other things doesn't just benefit black folk, it benefits the entire country. But what Ben said, this is the double reality we have to live in as black people. But the flip side of that is America ain't ready. This America ain't ready for a reparations bill being front and center.
Damn.
So this is where we are.
But I will say this though, in fairness, y'all, if we're not close, we are so much closer. Just in 2016, we could not affirmatively declare what's happening around us as white supremacy without people giving us the side eye. In 2012, you couldn't say it at all. 2008, it was a non-starter. You would be outcast from the Democratic Party if you talked about white supremacy. So now we are like, the one thing, I'm not just optimistic to be optimistic. I'm optimistic when we put it in context of a historical perspective, right?
Yeah.
We are most certainly on the ascendancy in terms of progressive policies, no matter how I mean, I don't care about the labels so much as the ability to talk about a single payer system in 2020 in the way that it was a non-starter in 2016, right? And then in terms of black issues, in terms of reparations, man, you can't even talk about reparations. It was an outlier to be able to talk about it, even though you had some people like you talked about Barbara Lee and the Iraq War, Marcus. You had people who were consistently talking about it all along, but now it is in the national discourse to the point where it was never before in my lifetime.
Joe Biden called the president of the United States a racist.
I just wanted to talk about, like, I have a story real quick. I'm very close with Dr. Cornel West. I consider him a mentor, a friend, damn near a father figure. And whenever I really need advice, I can call up Dr. West. That's why Dr. West is probably going to be on the show again soon. But I love him. I literally love that man. And he, and the reason why we got cool is because of one morning in November or December of 2016, when I woke up as Bernie Sanders' Black Outreach Director, and I get online and I hear a clip online of Bernie Sanders saying he doesn't support reparations, and I immediately sent a campaign-wide email to all the senior staffers that literally the title of it was "What do you mean Bernie doesn't support reparations?" And Bernie got that email himself, right? So there was somebody in his own campaign, and reparations is my issue, right? But you got a whole ass Black Outreach Director that you haven't even had a conversation about reparations with, and you go on national television. So first, that threw me in a scramble, right? I had so many people hitting me up because here I am, live from South Carolina, living in South Carolina at the time, trying to get black people to support Bernie Sanders in South Carolina, and the one thing they expect from a progressive that is asking for free college and free healthcare and free this and free that is, oh, this is our reparations guy right here, right? Right? Makes all the sense. No, he doesn't. He didn't even talk to me about it. So when I sent the email, I'm gonna tell you something. It was one of the first times I believe the relationship broke down between me and senior staffers, and even me and Bernie Sanders, when I sent that response email.
Right.
When I responded to, I mean, because don't you think the Black Outreach Director should be able to send an email to the candidate saying, "What are you doing on reparations, buddy?" Don't you? I mean, am I wrong? Was I skipping the chain of command? Well, at that time, really, the only boss I had was Jeff Weaver, right?
But no, you're not wrong at all, bro.
So I'm not wrong at all, right? So I just want to.
I got that clip. And I was laughing, not at what you were saying. I was laughing because who was doing the questioning, who asked, who posed the goddamn question in the first place.
Hey, can we say her last name, please?
Joy, Brianna Joy.
Great Joy.
Here's a clip. I don't know what you're talking about, but you lost me. But here's the clip. It's 2 minutes long. We can watch it.
You know, what as a political cost, let's say, of saying we're going to throw your hat in with a program like reparations? How much do you think those considerations should be made?
Well, you know, it's a good question. I think that one of the things that we've seen from early polling actually is that I think that we should distance ourselves and start getting away from this idea that we should only care about ourselves. Because when we really do start to assert and believe and understand and see how our destinies are tied, we kind of get away from this idea that only, you know, people of color care about other people of color and only white people care about other white people and so on. There are a lot of systems that we have to dismantle, but also it does get into this interesting area of where we are as a country about identity, because like, what does it mean to be Black? Who is Black and who isn't, especially as our country becomes more biracial and multiracial. Same thing with being Latino. Same thing. It brings up all these questions of like passing and, you know, things like that. But I do think it is important that we have to have substantive conversations about race beyond like what is racist and what is not. And if someone says something racist, does that make them racist? Like we need to get away from talking. Well, not that we have to get away from talking about racism. It's important that we talk about racism, but because we talk about racism so much, we actually aren't talking about race itself. And we aren't educating ourselves about our own history.
All right. Let's bring it back in. That's pretty much it. Mundell, you about to explode over there, man. Go for it.
Well, I mean, it just irks me, like, especially. And let me tell you something. Today, after this week, that just means something different to me, because we got another Latinx sister, J-Lo, who calls herself Lil Negrita from the Bronx.
So what?
Yeah, in the new song with Maluma, the Colombian, Afro-Colombian artist, J-Lo is rapping in Spanish and singing in Spanish and calls herself, she said, I've always been the little Black girl from the Bronx.
Okay.
And I'm like, always as in when? This song? Always as in when did this happen? So there's no fluidness in Blackness. Even Dirty, the brother who wrote the documentation on reparation, who's a Duke professor on economics, said, like, in order to qualify for reparations, one should have been calling themselves Black 10 years before the point, 12 years before. Like, you not only do you have to have DNA that's tied to American slavery, but you should have been referring to yourself as an American Black for the 10 years before the passing of the bill. It ain't no just, oh, I'm Black now that this reparation thing is about to happen, or it's cool to be Black. So he said you need to have traceable results where you filled out government document as a Black person. So this idea it's crazy to me that it's fluid in Blackness. That shit steals, and it to me, it lessens. It reminds me that this is how little Black boys and little Black girls can be killed, and then people are not as affected by it because we're so busy talking about who is and who isn't Black. There ain't no fluid to Blackness. Blackness look like dead people. Blackness people look like dead bodies on the street, filmed on Facebook Live videos. Don't fucking play with me. America know damn well what is Black.
Marcus, I want you to get in there, but then as you speak, I believe that she actually tried to clean this up some after the fact, and I want to find that. If somebody in the audience remembers that, if you could send me a link, that'll help out. But what's your initial reaction, Marcus? Man, I know you've seen it. So
yeah, I've seen it, man. Listen, AOC believe in reparations. That some of that shit she said was that cute shit because there's a certain environment within progressive politics where you have to, our side of the house is so goddamn addicted to like making a class argument within every goddamn thing.
Yeah. And
we gotta be so woke and so exact about our intersectionality. Let me tell you something. Run us our goddamn money. Just run us our shit, man. I don't want no more goddamn nuance. That's why somebody else got to be elected. Because it can't be me. Because I'm tired of the nuanced conversation. Me and Mondale, brothers like us, we've been talking about this shit for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this like our elders at this point. Like our ancestors have been talking about this shit. Y'all are just finding out that black people are owed something. Run us our shit. Just run us our shit. AOC, like AOC. Dang, that woman write about so much shit, man. She's like, I want her to be the goddamn president of this whole country at some point, right? But you know what? Like, either I think she got common sense, because the people who I know, and I've met her a few times, she ain't no idiot. She ain't a dumb woman. Like, she's a fucking genius, right? All you gotta do is really just all she gotta do is watch Clickbaity Political Thirsttrap. Y'all tell AOC to watch our show.
Yo, you can get some real political education. You watch this show.
Yeah, watch our show. And it's not, and here's the thing. Between all three of us, it stops the opinionation, the opinion part, and eventually there's a big, beautiful fact in there. Right?
I love that word, opinionation.
Yeah, opinionation, opines, right? Just run us our shit. Like I'm not anti-AOC. I'm not anti-Bernie. I'm pro-black now, man. Just run us our shit. And again, the last thing I'm gonna say on it is, like, y'all stop being cute about this shit. Mondale was right. Y'all stop being cute about this shit. Y'all being cute and funny. Stop.
Let me put this on the screen real quick, because this speaks to exactly what both of y'all talking about. Melissa Bosley, where I'm gonna put them in the troll category until further notice, says, "Come on now, black is." Oh, they're being sarcastic. I didn't see the so fluid part. They're being sarcastic. All right, I'm glad I read it, because here's the thing. This is really simple. Most of us, black in this country, I hate to use this phrase because I'm descendants of enslaved people is the phrase I'm gonna use. Descendants of enslaved people. I can trace my family line back about 5, 6 generations. And then that shit just cut off, right? And we all know why that shit cut off. Because of slavery, period. Most of us can go back in the American census and go to Ancestry.com and actually find out where our bloodline cuts off. Others of us who are black, they come and they're part of the diaspora. It's not rocket science. There are those of us who are literally the descendants of enslaved people, and we have been living with the ravages of slavery ever since, and you cannot deny that. And if you deny that, you ain't progressive. You're not progressive in the conversation. We have some black people, I don't want to say plenty, but we have some black people like Brianna, because that's how she framed the question. Like, I just want to kind of get to the core of that clip. She framed the question, and AOC took the bait. And the framing was such that we need to be careful with reparations because it's politically toxic, and AOC tried to pivot and go somewhere else. Either way it go, the framing was wrong. And the entire idea of dismissing what is owed to black people when we have a history in this country of paying reparations to just about damn near everybody that we wronged except for black people. I'm gonna say this about what is black. I mean, in the present context, Mondale, you said it. Black is when you see us getting killed on these videos. You damn right. Like the police ain't confused about who's black. The prison system ain't confused about who's black, right? The mortgage industry with redlining was never confused about who's black, right? There's never been any question about our blackness. The only question about this is that has even remained is descendants of enslaved people versus the African diaspora, black people in this country. That said, pay us what you owe us. Let's have that conversation. Let's go beyond a research panel. We've been researching it. HR 40 been trying to research it forever, right? And we have just been delaying it. And the reason we've been delaying it is because we couldn't even talk about it at one point. We couldn't even discuss it at one point without being seen as radical and on the edges. And so we're getting closer to it. And I just want to make sure that as we get closer to it, that we don't get set back by all these, like you said, Marcus, these cute little arguments, these cute little games that they're trying to play because they don't want to center blackness in the conversation when literally everything that we have in this country is rooted in the oppression and the enslavement of black people.
Hey, man, last thing. That Jim Clyburn bill, that ain't running us our shit.
The Conyers, are you talking about HR 40, the Conyers bill?
No, not the Conyers bill. The Clyburn.
What's
That ain't
Clyburn
that's
talking
our
about?
shit.
I'm lost in that. What he talking about?
What is it? 10, 20, 30? Is that it? 40, 30, 20? Mondale, you know that. You brought it up before.
Yeah. So, yeah. Let me. Hold on a second.
I'm right there with you. I'm there with you.
But I'm trying not to be emotional right now because motherfuckers don't understand. And this might sound like I'm capping Joe Biden, but I'm trying to prove a fucking point. The fucking progressive community drags Joe Biden for shit less important to me than reparations. They drag Joe Biden. They drag Joe Biden for going on the fucking morning show for saying, if you don't support me, you ain't black. We just had two progressive champions bragging about sitting beside a police union, needing more cops, more jails, and another one talking about you don't know what black is. When I tell you it is improper to say that you are progressive and you ain't centering blackness, this fucking morning segment just showed you what the fuck I mean. And that's the easiest way for me to say it without saying what I really want to say.
You might as well say what you want to say, bro.
No, it ain't.
We'll take it off air. We'll take it off air.
Yeah,
I definitely want to hear you.
Because really, if you can get away with what they got away with on this morning's clips showed, it's real motherfucking hard to see how. I mean, but we let me just say it this way. One of my favorite people in the world said to be black in America is to be constant. It's to be on fire. It's to be on fire. White people play politics. I said it before. Black people die from politics. I've never, bro, if you ever say, what does it mean to be Jewish? You are done.
Come on, man.
You are done.
And pause. That ain't anti-Semitic. Because
It's facts.
I know how people try to pull that every time you mention that word. That's not anti-Semitic. That's a fact. Keep going, bro.
Period.
I'm man, 2020 has been a lot of years for me. You know what I'm talking about? Like 2020 calendar wise, it's been 10 months. 2020, like lessons and watching and growing has been a lot of years for me, bro. And people, we just got to do we need to do a real washing and cleansing on what reality is. And white people have been white people in like no other year of my life this year. So you could try to come at me about your loving Bernie Sanders and how black people vote against their interests. That's so much shit I want to tell y'all. That video was a snippet of what I know. To ever threaten a black person with cops at a progressive convention is a different type of fucking you in my book, when you threaten black men with cops and trying to get them kicked out because of some shit they questioned you about.
Oh, you already said that. And I think I know what you're talking about. That's what we talked about yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, somebody was talking about I schooled them. It hurts me to say that because like that could have been a bad situation. Had I not been associated with DFA, I'd have been in a whole lot of trouble just for wanting to ask the question about how you're progressive and y'all formed all these organizations and ain't no black leadership at that moment, right? If I wasn't associated with DFA, what would have happened to Mundell? I could have probably been canceled.
No,
that
you
means
probably could have been killed.
You've been in jail. Yeah,
you might have been killed. Like that's how far that stuff escalates.
Hey, I want to make sure we get so people know exactly because you covered it yesterday. You talking about the quote unquote confrontation that you had, and I put in quotations because it wasn't a confrontation; it was a question. But Jane Sanders, Bernie Sanders' wife, approached you as if it was a confrontation, right? And it became an actual threat, a possible threat on your life because of what happened in that exchange. So keep going. I just want to make sure everybody knew what you were referencing.
I wanted to expand this too, though, because as a black man, it doesn't just stop there. If people don't know what Netroots Nation is, the history and the history of Black people going to Netroots Nation is a history of protest. Netroots Nation is the largest progressive conference in this country. In New Orleans a few years ago, we were about to protest. A woman stands in between us and it's like 7 of us. When we were in the room planning, it was like 30 or 40. But when it's time to go take action, those numbers get smaller because people, certain people don't want to, you know how it is. When it's time to take action, like some people are like, oh, well, I can't do that. I hear that. Well, anyway, with the 7 of us that went back there, it was like 4 brothers and 3 sisters, or 4 sisters and 3 brothers. We're on the way back there. One of the people that planned the Netroots conference didn't want us to protest. Didn't want to go on stage while the key speakers were about the keynotes were about to go on stage, right? This is 2018 because the keynote was one of the keynotes was David Garcia, who was running for governor of Arizona, and we were about to go up there after he finished his speech. We were gonna let the brother finish, and then we were gonna stop the show and let them know that once again, Netroots had successfully put all the Black conferences or all the Black meetings in the smallest, hottest rooms at the same time, meaning they look like they're the least attended panels because you got a schedule while all the Black other conferences going on. So we're about to go protest this. Divide and conquer comes into play. We're backstage about to go on stage. A woman steps in between the men and the women that are going on stage, and she said, "Come over here, sisters, and let me talk to you on women issues." On women issues. I say to her, "Sister, this is union busting. What you're doing right now is bad juju. You're literally trying to destroy our movement by trying to separate us. This is divide and conquer. That's a bad tactic to use on a group of people that are about to protest." A shot comes back there. And I'm screaming at a shot like, "We do this every year, bro." And he's like, "I know." And I'm screaming like, she stands in between me and a shot. She's new to the party. Clearly, she don't know about the history of the protest of Black people. So and then her story is she goes back and cries to DFA and be like, "Oh, Mundell was screaming at me. Y'all need to fire him, or we can't deal with him. There can't be no relationship between our organization and yours." This happened, bro. This happened, and it didn't stop there. I'm calling people to fuck out today. Fuck it, bro. Man. I'm at this time, I was doing all of the East Coast field work in Georgia and North Carolina for Power Pack. That's Steve Phillips' organization. Those people never had to come to the states. I was doing contract work. They never had to come to these states because I was running their field program. I would build them, train people, run my BMEP program, and do it all over North Carolina and Georgia. But because this person had a relationship with Steve Phillips and she went crying to him, Steve Phillips said, "Oh, we can't deal with him no more." Now I'm fucking protesting because of Black fucking like isolation. And even the sisters that were back there with us protesting, the ones that didn't buy into the bullshit, who associated themselves with it, said, "Yo, what she did was tacky." And worse, she went and cried to white people and told them they need to get rid of me. Yo, there's a couple people at DFA that said, Howard Dean's brother, I'm probably risking a lot of shit right now. I'm just telling you. Who was the chair at the time said, "Yo, you gotta apologize to this person." I said, "Yo, my soul ain't gonna let me do that. So the direct deposit might stop, but my soul ain't gonna fucking lose no sleep over some shit that I stand for."
Preach.
So I'm just telling y'all how hard it is to be Black. Especially Black men. That is not to take away from sisters' experience, but that ain't my experience. My experience is Black man playing progressive politics. It is dangerous. And Marcus, you know I got stories worse than that one, brother.
Can I tee up something? I want to tee up something for Marcus, because here's the opposite side of it. Here's what people like Breonna Joy say. They make the argument on a regular basis that Black-centered politics is a political liability, and that we can't win that way.
Hey,
the reason I'm going to toss it to you in 2 seconds, Marcus, because I want you to talk about it. Here's why it's doubly angering. It's doubly angering. It's because it's the fact that y'all been ignoring Black politics that y'all niggas have been losing. Y'all have been losing for the exact same reason you think you're going to lose. You don't want to talk about what's happening in the Black community from a substantive perspective, and y'all can't get any victories as progressives. You stay losing because you've ignored our issues. Now, I'm just teeing it up because, Marcus, you already know this is your lane.
No, listen, man. How you Black and ever say centering yourself is wrong. How you a human
Word.
and saying you how you a human and we running out of oxygen on Earth and you say, but we need to think about the Martians' feelings. The fuck? Excuse my language, but
Nah, man.
But here we go. It's very simple. We have people. We let our argument for centering African Americans always gets diluted from people who want to be accepted by white power structures that look like us. That's the first thing that they do. Hence, somebody on that campaign literally saying we got better black people in 2020 than we did in 2016.
Come on, man.
You know the reason why y'all felt comfortable enough to say that? Because
person.
y'all were kikiing and smiling with the goddamn campaign manager and whoever the hell else was up there instead of doing the work within the community. These folks, you're having parties with yourself.
Marcus, I gotta give context so people can understand the significance of what you're saying. There was a black person in top positions on Bernie Sanders' 2020 campaign who made the argument that they were going to win this time around. It wasn't Nina Turner, by the way. They were going to win this time around because they got better black people. What kind of shit is that to say from a black mouth in the first place, but that kind of derangement? Marcus, keep going.
Man, listen, Mondale is right, man. It's dangerous being in this space. Like, if for those of you who just finding out about Clickbaity political thirst trap and finding out about Mondale and Marcus, I mean, to be honest with you, we're not searching for stardom, right? We are literally searching for methods to get our people free. My method was working through candidates. Mondale's method is working directly with the community. Ben's method is working with social media and the media. But we're just trying to figure out the best way to get us free. And it's dangerous because there's so many people who want to dilute messages and want to actually stab you in the back or want to actually just create money sources and be accepted by powerful money sources instead of actually doing things for our community. 3 consultants, we say this all the time, 3 white consultants on Bernie Sanders' campaign got paid more than the whole black outreach in 2016. They spent more money on 3 consultants than they did on black outreach in 2016, and you wonder why your boy didn't beat Hillary Clinton. Y'all blaming the DNC. It ain't like that.
What was the race of those consultants?
White. 3 white men.
So if your political money is spent, if your campaign money is spent like 3/5, I'm gonna stop right there. Spend money like 3/5.
So this ain't about dissing progressives, right? But I want to clear the slate. Honestly, none of these motherfuckers like black people. And we had to damn near burn down America for people to actually start saying, oh, okay, well, maybe they got a point. They do still kill black people. I got ostracized from the Bernie world because I basically just said, hey, Bernie, won't you spend some more money on black outreach? Hey, Bernie, you need to change your views on reparations. And there's a whole segment, and you can tag them if you want to. There's a whole segment of people that's surrounded by the Bernie world that hate my guts right now. I don't give a fuck because y'all ain't paying me shit. But y'all hate me because I basically tried to say, hey, man, we're not doing right by black folks. And that's a fact. And even more so as I grow in this space, I start understanding that this is not just Bernie Sanders' world. This is the progressive world in general. They want to use black tactics from the 60s, 70s, and forget about the black part. Is that fucking simple?
I mean,
right?
and claim them as if they created them, right? I hear them all the time talk about like, oh yeah, this person came up with deep canvassing or relational organizing. I'm like, have you ever heard of the Underground Railroad? That is fucking relational organizing 101. Don't talk to me about your ancestors from last election cycle creating it. It ain't new. It ain't new. And the same, it is just so, for me, it is so tragic when I hear people and see people that are so small in their politics. And by small, I mean, you've not done any research beyond that new YouTube video or that one campaign you volunteered for and made calls or canvassed.
Yeah.
And you think you know everything about progressive politics or what it means to be in this space.
Hey,
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Real quick,
that is like watching a dentist on YouTube extract the teeth, and then you calling yourself a dentist.
Mondale, you're frozen, but that was a good point. I want to say something that I saw in the chats that y'all say we need more. Is too much testosterone energy. That's the problem right now.
Wait,
and
who said that?
We're not problematic. We're not being patriarchal right
Wow.
now. Yeah, no.
Somebody said that?
Yeah, somebody said that. Like,
Which chat?
We're
Which
being
chat was that?
patriarchal right now. You know,
Wow.
you know what it is? You know what it really is, America? Is that y'all ain't used to seeing free black men talk. Y'all just ain't. Y'all
Not about politics.
No, you're not used to seeing a black male's angle. What you are used to seeing is beta males who are problematic in their own ways, jumping on television, actually selling you whatever the machine wants you to hear. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Somebody in our chat said it's a show with brothers, right? And the implication is it's about brothers. I said if you want some estrogen, watch the talk.
They got that on. They got problematic estrogen, not just estrogen. They got problematic estrogen on every single channel across anything that you watch.
We got sisters who have a show. They say they watch our show. We watch their show. The Sip comes on in the afternoon and Sunday brunch. And I say go watch those sisters because they do a great job. We have it. Listen, but Marcus, you know we had this problem when Black Male Voters Project was being formed.
Yeah.
We saw what people said. Call the organization sexist. Why are you only talking about black men? What about black women? I don't need to be in that lane. There's plenty of sisters in that lane doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
It's funny to me how I've never heard a sports show with black brothers, more 3, 4, 5 brothers on it. Nobody's ever said it's too much testosterone in there.
Because that's what they want us to stay in that lane, man. They want us to stay in that lane.
Y'all want me to catch balls?
Here's
y'all want me to catch a ball? Y'all want me to talk sports ball?
Bro, how you completely ignore the fact that your path to victory. I'm just talking, but set the morality aside. Set the morality of it aside. Because based on a moral argument, you have no reason whatsoever to ignore the plight of black people in this country, in the sense of morality, and most certainly the plight of black men. But from a political perspective, y'all losing because you ain't talking to us. The reason you ain't getting victories because you ain't. The most radical element in this country are black folks, period. You throw on black men, it's even more so. And so my thing is if set aside the morality argument, because you should have been talking to us for the last couple 100 years. Y'all stay ready to lose because you don't want to entertain the opinions and the positions and the arguments from black folks. And then you get even more uncomfortable when it's black men. When if you actually listen to us and you look at the work that Mondale's doing with the Black Male Voter Project, you realize, oh shit, our path to victory is listening to black folks and black men.
It's you know what? I'll say it. Politics is soft until it comes down to people who are actually trying to make a change, because then they'll make it hard as hell for anybody who wants to do good. It's that simple.
They get real strong when they want to stop progress.
Yeah, they get real strong. And I mean, and if you think about it fundamentally, we talked about it earlier, man. They tore up our neighborhoods with those drugs, gave us higher prison sentences. Black men didn't organically just leave black neighborhoods. That didn't just happen because it's in our DNA.
That's what they want to make the argument. They want to say there's something wrong with us.
Make it like, black men, they're just problematic. Like, you mean somewhere in Africa, our ancestor king, our Panther king decided to make us problematic? and that just followed us down the generations? No. The American system has done everything in their power to destroy us or make us rap, play basketball, and sing songs. That's it. We're here for the manpower.
I mean, like, and I think the Black Panther said, and I apologize to our audience because I think my video feed is still frozen, but I know you can hear me. So that's what's important. Like, I think people misunderstood and misunderstand. There's a difference between masculinity and toxic masculinity.
Come on, man.
You're not gonna make me anybody other than who I am. And if people are keeping it 100, sisters that take care and look out for the Black community, I bet you they ain't got no problem with me. Not the ones that play politics. And if I just know that because the way I show up, I was raised by 7 sisters, a mother, 11 aunts, and a grandmother. So you can try as much as you want to, but that ain't the argument, bro. But what you ain't gonna do is you ain't gonna make me a different type of brother. I am this guy, and I also love Black men. My uncles, my cousins, my brothers, these 2 guys on this show, and ones that I've never met. And it is illogical for you to think that I'm not supposed to advocate on behalf of Black men when I see this country killing us at a rate that's higher than anybody else, not excluding anyone. We have the shortest lived experience in this country. When the number one cause of death for a large segment of Black men in this country is police officers, and that don't exist for anybody else, you have to be crazy to believe that out of love for my nephews and their nephews to come and anybody else that is a Black man, that I'm not supposed to say something. You out of your damn mind. You don't understand what it means to be Black in this country unless your definition of Black is chattel.
We talk about whatever we want to on the show.
You saw that?
We talk about whatever we want to on the show, whenever we want to on the show.
You saw the same comment I saw.
What happened?
Somebody said, yeah, yesterday y'all spent 2 hours talking about sports and clothes. We talk about
part
whatever
of
the
it
hell we
too.
want to, bro.
That's
We
part
talk,
of it too.
nigga, man, look here. Look.
That's part
look,
of it
look.
too.
One thing you ain't gonna ever do is come in here and tell us what the fuck to talk about.
part
Let's-
of
let's
it.
keep it
I
100.
guess they missed the last 5 minutes of what we were saying. We don't care about y'all shit. That shit.
And also it's a lie to say that we spent 2 hours yesterday talking about clothes.
Can we spend the rest of the show talking about pink hoodies?
Yeah, shit. Where can I get one? We should get a black. Let's do a line of pastel colors for Black Male Voter Project. Cause like why the hell not?
Good.
We talk about what we want to talk about. We will wear what we want to wear. We're gonna show up the way we want to show up because that's literally that's what we fighting for everybody. Funny how we could spend an entire hour, 2 hours fighting on behalf of the freedom and liberty of everybody to show up the way they see fit. Right. When I fight personally on behalf of the LGBTQ community, it's because I want them to have the right to show up the way they see fit, the way they want to represent themselves, the way they identify for themselves, the way they are naturally inside of themselves. But when we start showing up the way we see fit, motherfuckers got to have a question about our intentions, our masculinity, our toxic masculinity. It becomes all these questions. Nah, we are simply being us the same way we fight for you to be you. Why is it a problem when we trying to be us?
You know what? I like to, by the way, I'm going to soften it up a little bit. We asked you guys for a name for yourselves if you was like Team Clickbaity, just like the Dragon Squad, which I just think that's super dope.
That's a dope name. Right?
That's a dope name. I saw a couple of, because we got to close this thing out here soon, but on the same token, I saw a couple of suggestions. Would y'all run those back on Facebook and on YouTube? Would y'all run some of the team suggestions names back? I want to lighten it up because I know that I can't add any stress to my life. But what I am going to say is Mondale brought that heat. Ben brought that heat. I think I brought some of that heat. And this is what you get by watching Clickbaity Political Thirsttrap every morning, at least until Election Day.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, y'all done got me. Listen. Like, I was the number 1 person against getting up this early in the goddamn morning because y'all see I go to bed real late. So we ain't stopping this just because of the election. Y'all done got me hooked on it. Y'all done trained me like Pavlov's dog. We ain't going back.
I told Hoodie Marcus that he would be running the show the day after the election.
Oh, okay. Now we could do that. Now Hoodie Marcus can show up after the election, but we definitely ain't stopping the morning show. The morning show gonna keep going every single morning, and we're gonna expand. And right now we still have 734 people who are watching us live. Monday, I know you want to get in there, but I want to play this real short clip of James Baldwin. He doesn't say expressly what you mentioned earlier about to be Black in this country is to be at a constant state of, and to be conscious is to be at a constant state of rage. It's not that clip, but it's very similar. Listen in.
Okay.
I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not.
We got to get our likes up, too.
I don't know if the real estate lobby has anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbyists keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks they give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
All right, man. We can keep going for the rest of the day if we let ourselves. Tell everybody where to find you at Mundell and get to say whatever you want to say.
I am Mundell. Instagram, again, that's my name. At I am Mundell. On Twitter, it's Mundell Robinson. Facebook, it's Mundell Robinson. And Black Male Voter Project everywhere. You guys be on the lookout for our trailer for our documentary. It is actually out and moving, so check us out. I think this is probably my favorite show ever.
Yeah, big facts. Marcus.
Yeah, I feel relieved after saying what happened today, and we've said some super dope stuff on this show before, but today, I think you know what I think it is. I think it's we got to come to grips with what's real about our communities, point blank, and what's real about, like, if you're watching this show and you like this show, then you might consider us allies. You might consider us allies, and if you consider us allies, then what I'm asking you as a person who is a part of a community that has been victimized is just center our shit for a second. Just try it. Just try to center what we talking about right now. Like, in your thought process, like, try to switch it up, because as soon as you watch the next show or whatever show that you watch, they're going to say Medicare for all, fight Donald Trump, this, that, and the, all the million other things, and we should be centering that stuff. But what I'm telling you is that America's ills will not be okay. This whole country will not be healthy until black people are get what's owed to them. Huh. You can find me at Marcus for America on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Marcus Farrell, and you can find me on Twitch at Old Man Politic. We don't have enough likes on this show yet, so you can hit the button, hit that like button, smash that button on whatever platform you're at. And thanks for watching.
Last couple things before we get out of here. I like this one recommendation from Missy Rise 83 said Trap Squad. I kind of like that.
Squad. Okay.
Trap Squad.
Trap
Squad.
That sounds like a good. That looks like a good hat too.
Yeah. We could do some branding around that. I want to throw. I'm gonna put Tamara up here. Tamara said, I couldn't comment from my page previously, but I'm back. Hey Ben, don't be reading any more messages trying to make my man Mundell smile unless they're paying for a $99 super chat.
And there you have it.
Y'all send in those super chats. What's up, man?
You will not bring your capitalism over here in my house. You hear me?
Hey,
you get your capitalism out my house,
bruh. Hey, that you got to talk to the woman in your house. She sent the message. She right there next to you. Tell her. Don't bring that capitalism here.
Get Ben's capitalism out of my house.
No, hey, real quick. I want to re-emphasize this. When it comes down to politics, national politics, me personally, I have to say this. I'm still pro Sanders more than anybody else. Yeah. Right? Point blank. There's no I don't hate AOC. I think AOC's next. I don't hate Bernie Sanders. I think Bernie Sanders brought a conversation that America needed to hear. What I'm saying,
I don't think you need to say that. I think what you said, this show was so powerful. If anybody walks away from that, it just further explains the complications of being black and people not understand. What you said in this show was powerful, and you don't need that disclaimer for them. Let them walk away with that. If they said, though, you already said that woman should be president. So I mean, you don't even need to go there. You said what you said, and it ain't fact. I mean, it ain't fiction. It's grounded in the fact. Center us. Fuck all your nuances. Stop playing games with us. Stop being cute and coy. It is what it is. I think you did a wonderful job expressing how you felt.
One addition to that is vertical viewpoint said morning trap squad. I kind of like that. It kind of has a pattern to a rhythm to it. But back to what you're saying, Mundell, and what you're saying, Marcus. The point is if y'all want to morally, y'all should have this in your heart as progressive. You can't really consider yourself progressive unless you center the most marginalized communities, which is why I actively try to center the fight of people that I see are marginalized, even if I'm not one of them, right? I'm not trans, but you can see how marginalized trans people are in this country. And so I make an active effort to center them. How do you skip over black folks though? Right? Just in the sense of your morality, something's wrong with your moral compass. That's number one. But two, if you want to win, you got to go through the black community, because that has been proven in 2016. It's been proven in 2020. So even if you ain't got no morality, you should have some common political goddamn sense. And if you ignoring us and you think it's too toxic, that means you don't know what the hell you're doing and you don't need to be in politics in the first place. Good morning, Trap Squad.
Oh, listen, before we go, because I just got to say this, and this ain't about getting the last word. Let me point out why I stopped Marcus. Listen, this man knows everything he needs to know about this campaign, about that Bernie as a candidate for president, right? Not from secondhand knowledge, from being intimate in the campaign, experiencing. These are lived experiences. Yet and still, the next presidential campaign, he still supported the dude. Still, yeah. Even after, watch this now. Even after this, listen, Bernie endorsed lesser candidates than Marcus, and didn't endorse Marcus.
Oh yeah.
He didn't endorse this man. This man still, you see what I'm saying? This man ran for office and didn't get an endorsement from Bernie. And he's still out here. And those people aren't satisfied, because what they're asking for us is the same thing. White people that are upset that we protest the flag are just like white people that are upset we protest progressives. We ain't never said we don't fuck with this country. We died in every war for this country. And also, we made this country as great as it is right now. This is free money, meaning free labor from black folk. So the idea that this brother worked for that man, saw the failures of that campaign, expressed those failures, got ostracized by that community, still came back the next time after that man didn't endorse him, and he endorsed other people who was less progressive than Marcus, for sure, even in the same state. And then Mark's still out here. Nah, ain't no need to explain to that community why you said what you said. That's just fact.
You just pissed me off. Now, that fucking hoodie about to come out like right the fuck now, bro.
Because it sound like you forgot some of that yourself. He reminded you.
No, I can't front. If I was critical and my dear mother who's watching this show, sorry about all the cuss words. My dear mother who's watching this show didn't raise me to be such a forgiving human being. Then if I wasn't like that, I could probably. People think I'm spiteful. People think I'm angry, and believe it or not, I'm not. I just tell the truth. The truth is so problematic that they think that I'm trying to destroy something. That's the problem. The truth is so problematic that about the Sanders campaign and the Sanders world that they think I'm trying to destroy something. No, it's still politically awesome. Like, they still have some awesome shit. It's just the simple fact that they'll do you wrong. Hey, by the way, folks, on a lighter note, y'all figure out what emoji we gonna use too. Go ahead. Speaking
of, somebody said, I want to skip that comment. They said, why do we have to put squad in it? It's kind of like it's biting. I guess, what did Lil Wayne say on Dr. Carter? He said, he said,
the courier.
And that was called recycling art. We reciting something because you say it like just like it. So you say it's just like it. Yeah. He said some say it's biting, but I say it's enlightening. So shout out to the Dragon Squad. That's enlightening. It's not biting. We gonna borrow it. We recycling it because.
And squad didn't just begin with dragons, bro. Terror Squad. I mean, everybody's a squad. We were all squads our entire life.
I like the Trap Squad, the Morning Trap Squad. So cool. And even if it's a nod to the Dragon Squad, Squad be all up in here anyway. So we love y'all too.
Hold on now. Somebody also said the hoodies.
The hoodies.
No, that's
Steve Harvey thing. But no, they changed it from the hoodies. Man, that was the funniest thing in the world. They changed it from the hoodies to the neighborhood awards. Y'all remember that shit? Y'all don't remember that?
They changed the neighborhood awards?
Yes, bro. They changed the hoodie awards to the neighborhood awards because I guess hoodie was too black for their corporate.
That's my problem right there. You see what I'm saying? Like that right there. That thing hit when it was the hoodies. Why you need to change that, bro? Why?
Yeah, here it is. He says Steve Harvey drops the whole neighborhood awards completely. He's not doing any of it anymore. But yeah, he took it out. He took it away from the hoodies. So that's available too.
But it speaks to how he shows up in the world, right? Wouldn't support Monique. Told her, and these people ain't racist. It ain't about race. It's about green.
Oh, hold on. And Monique won. That's the crazy part. Like you mean to tell me the legal system was more down with a black woman than Steve Harvey asked? Okay, I'll leave it alone.
And that's why I want to get this space on the morning. People always, Ben, why you want to go to radio? Because there is a lot of real estate to be had with three brothers who can talk as effectively about politics as they can about sports, about hip hop, about entertainment. But we even better at politics, and we drop some soul music on it. I like Steve. I ain't got no beef against Steve, but there's some real estate that needs to be had for some voices like this on a national level.
I'm glad his Teller cut 7 of those buttons off his suits.
Yeah. Steve Harvey finally came up to the damn 19th century with those zoot suits. Anyway, I digress. Anybody want to get the last word, or have we had the last word? Well, all hearts and minds are clear.
Amen, amen, amen again.
Amen, amen. This has been a great week in Political Thirst Trap. Shout out, we haven't finished the name yet. It might be the Hoodies. It might be the Morning Trap Squad. Whatever it is, shout out to y'all, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.